Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Look at the Sirch Chal Gimel, learning about Lag Ba'omer. So we're discussing what's the special Lag Ba'omer. The Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said on this day, it's such a simcha, the day of his passing. So we started explaining who Rabbi Shimon. Not to understand this, we have to understand who Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was. So one of the things we said about him is that it said in Tevish passing is Chad Katinis Katarno, that he is becoming united with Hashem. That's no simple feat. Another thing we said about him is that when he was getting smicha from Rabbi Akiva, him and Rabbi Meir, I think it was, that Rabbi Akiva said about Rabbi Meir, that he said, Rameir should go first, should go ahead. And then Rabbi Akiva said to Shimon Bar Yochai, he said, it's enough that you and I know how great you are. So you could seemingly say, it just means that he wasn't that great. But really what we're saying is, it was so great that only people on the level of Rabbi Akiva could understand how great he was. And also we see, that's interesting because Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, on the day of his passing, he said, and to the extent that a student of the Arizal, which is way later, it's like in the 1500s, he used to say every day Nachum over the destruction of Beis Hamikdash. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was very unhappy that he said it when he came to Meron on Lag Ba'omer. Because Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was on such a level that by him he didn't feel the lack of the Beis Hamikdash not being here spiritually. Of course, physically it's not there, but spiritually he didn't lack it because he was so connected. But seemingly it's very nice that Shimon Bar Yochai is connected, but we're not connected. So why was this guy getting punished? Why was Shimon Bar Yochai very unhappy about this student of the Arizal saying Nachum? He felt the destruction. So Shimon Bar Yochai was informing us that on this day, on Lag Ba'omer, the same way Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai felt, and the same connection and spirituality that he was connected to, it's shared by everyone. We all have the ability to tap into it. And therefore, even though generally throughout the year, and on Shabbos and on Yom Tov, you say Nachum over the destruction of Beis Hamikdash, there's no need and there's no reason to say it on Lag Ba'omer. So we see that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai has these two extremes. On one hand, he's way above, tapping into levels that we couldn't even imagine, but at the same hand, he's bringing it down all the way that we couldn't even tap into. And that's a wild idea. And we see this also, this idea that on one hand, it talks about, says in the pasuk, Lo yamush sefer Torah this sefer Torah shouldn't be left from your mouth. So what does that mean? It's a different opinion. Some opinions say it means you do a little bit of davening in the morning, davening in the evening, and that's it. And the rest of the day you go to work, and that's fine. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says it means literal. You shouldn't be working. You should just go and learn Torah all day, like he did in the cave for 13 years. But the Gemara says some people went according to the other opinion, Rabbi Shmuel, and also B'Yadon, and it worked. They worked and they learned, and that's how it worked. Whereas Rabbi Akiva, people tried, but it didn't work. Meaning Rabbi Akiva's reality was a reality that we don't really live with. Like we see his reality of the fact that when he's passing away, he's saying, he's becoming one with Hashem. Or the reality that on his day, that he lived a life that he didn't feel the lacking of the Beis Hamikdash being destroyed. And like we see here, he says, what are you going to work for? Someone else take care of it. You go, you learn, and that's how it works. But on the other hand, together with that, when he comes out of the cave, and he's been in this cave for 13 years learning the secrets of the Torah, him and his son, and they're like on a different level. So the son basically can't handle seeing people work. He's like, what are you working? Like, there's Torah. Hello. And his son was destroying everything. Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was fixing it all. Again, on one hand, he's like, you should be learning all day. But then when he sees people working and his son can't handle that, he helps and he fixes whatever his son is destroying because he gets it. Meaning he's in the clouds, be within, be above, be within, stay above. He's above, but he's also down here. And this we see these two ideas. And we're going to continue talking about this. And then, Mr. Hashem, tomorrow, probably tomorrow, we're going to explain how do we apply that to ourselves. Yeah. And also, so we were saying, we end up saying last time, we're talking about how he's fit. So Rabbi Elazar, his son, he's saying he's destroying everything. Like, how can you do this? Whereas Rabbi Yishmael is fixing. And what does he say? He goes, Hatam l'masi. He's with Rabbi Elazar. So the reason what Rabbi Yishmael sent to Rabbi Elazar is that's enough. You and I, we'll take care of the learning all day, and let them live, relax. Not everyone is shaykh to doing what we're doing. Yeah, so he's Torah, Rabbi Shimei, which was on a level of Torah Munasa. That was his profession, that was his job, so to speak. That was enough for the world. So because Rabbi Shimei is saying, because Rabbi Elazar, my son, and I are learning Torah, we are fulfilling the obligation of learning Torah all the time. And everyone else can go and work as well. They're allowed to. And even more, he says, and even more than this, Matzin, we find he says in Menachos, I feel like Kara Adam Ella Krishma Shachis Ibis Kiem Loimo Yomosh. But on the other hand, he says that whoever says only Shema in the morning and Shema in the evening and doesn't do any other learning, he's fulfilled the obligation, technically, according to Rabbi Shimon of this idea that lo yamush 7% that you shouldn't go away from me. On one hand, he's saying, and this is we see these extremes. On one hand, he's saying you should be working all day. On the other hand, we'll see, and if you can't, you should learning all day. And if you can't, and if the minimum you can do or the maximum you can do is Shema, and that's it, great, perfect. Yeah, Yesh Nadeya, there's one opinion, and Alter brings it down. He goes, She'ikr, Kriya Shema, the main thing of Shema, Pasuk Rishon, the first Pasuk. Meaning, so let's put that into our context of Rabbi Shimon Yochai. Meaning, Kasher Adam Eini Yachel B'Shum Eifen Lil Mater Kol Yom, someone for whatever reason is not able at all to learn any Torah the whole day. If according to Torah he's working, and he doesn't have the time, or the person is illiterate and doesn't understand, not able to do anything besides just saying Shema, the first pasuk of Shema. Not just he's exempt. That type of person is exempt from learning Torah the whole day. Because the person is in a false situation, is in a situation out of his control, and in that case, Torah doesn't force you. Doesn't know any better. Doesn't have the time. So the Torah doesn't say, "Hey, it's not good enough. You still got to figure out the time." But so meaning, actually that person is fulfilling this obligation to learn Torah all day. Think about it like this. He explained like this. Rabbi Shimon Yochai is saying that you meant to learn Torah all day, but if you don't have the opportunity for whatever reason, whether you have to work all day or you just can't learn, you don't know, you don't have the ability. So he says, enough. You say Shema in morning, Shema at night is enough. And the Rebbe is saying, and according to the Alter Rebbe, that there's an opinion that says just the first pasuk of Shema is technically enough. So what we're saying is that according to Shimon Yochai, a person can fulfill the mitzvah of not forgetting Torah and learning Torah all day by saying the first pasuk of Shema in the evening, in the morning, and he's done. And not just he's pater, exempt, and didn't do anything wrong. They fulfilled this obligation. And this is the power of Shimon Yochai. The highest levels of Torah, which is lo yamush, that he will never forget, that he won't lack, like literal. This is the infinity and the endlessness of Torah. That ability that Torah can come to such an extent. Even to a person who's not able to fulfill more then one verse in the morning, one verse in the evening, my love also to that person, the Torah that person learns, is drawing down the eternity of Torah, which is wild. It's wild. Meaning, I think in a simple way of thinking about this is Torah is huge. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is bringing out the hugeness of Torah. The hugeness of Torah to the extent that you don't need to say to yourself, I didn't do enough. Now, of course, we should try to do as much as we can and push ourselves. And we have self-love, so we're never necessarily we're a good limits test to know what's true or not for ourselves. But together with that, when we do one verse of Shema, you're doing everything, you're getting everything. And that's what he's saying. You have to appreciate that every mitzvah that you do is so much, so intense, so extreme, so much in there, that even if you don't have the opportunity to do anything else but that, you've done perfect. So we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves, or we didn't do enough. For sure, we should do more and push ourselves, and for sure, we have more time than what we think, and all those things. But what we're seeing here is that Shimon Bar Yochai gives us the ability to tap into this level, that the one thing that we do, or the few things that we do, is the most powerful thing. And what we should tell ourselves is, wow, this is amazing. These few things that I'm doing, how amazing is that? And if that's so amazing about the few things I do, how much more amazing could it be if I did it even more? He's done even more than this. Not just he brought down this eternity of Torah in the world as it runs, like by nature, al pi Torah, ki al pi Torah harei v'as v'safta d'ganecha v'dai lo'elam ani v'ata. Because meaning, what's beautiful about this is that according to Torah, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, like we said before, just Eliezer and I are enough to do it all day, and everyone else can go do their jobs and work, and it's fine. Whatever they do, the little bit they do is also good. But he's fixing the world, meaning when you're fixing something, you're fixing something that's broken. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. So if he's fixing, it means there's a problem. And it needs to be fixed. It wasn't just when he saw some issue that he couldn't handle, it annoyed him, so he went to fix it. He went and he searched to find things that he could fix. Is there something that needs to be fixed? You're talking, let me fix it. Meaning, this didn't come about, this whole idea, just like, you know what, these people are annoying me, so let me find a solution to this annoying problem. He was saying, how can I help? What is it can I give? What can I give to this world? What does this world need from me? How can I do something to make this world better? And he found his way. Umaduber, b'makim shahaya boy safek tuma. And I'm talking about in a place, let's say there was a doubt whether the person is tamei or not. Hey vechata, which is the opposite of purity. You say which is the beginning of Aveda. The beginning of Aveda, you have to be pure. And here he's dealing with someone that is already not pure. It's a suffocated pure. You're dealing in the shmutz. Ubetuma atzman in tuma itself, tumas mace. Someone that is contaminated because attached to dead corpse. Avya avaysatum, which is the highest level of tuma. Tuma chamur b'yosef, which is a very severe level of tuma. Umakim zeh tiken rashbi v'asa makim diram. And on that level, he made it from a person that is impure to a place that you can live. Lo'irak. Also to the Koyanim, that he was there busy fixing. Finish it off because how was he able and when was he able to do this? Specifically after the 13 years in the cave when he learned so much Torah. Being in the 13th year, 13 years in this cave, specifically then, because he reached such a high level, not just came into the world of permissibility and do the right thing or help the permissible make it holy. But he was able to go and fix the thing that needed fixed. Meaning, normally our problem is we learn Torah and we separate ourselves from the world and we're not connected to the world and we don't even see the world. And people, and I see this, unfortunately, I notice this a lot. I see these bachrim that they don't think about other people and they're just in their own world in the mind. And the more you learn, the more you're into yourself, the more you think about yourself, and you just get lost. But Rabbi Shimon Yochai is 13 years by himself with his son. And what happened when he comes out? He's not all about himself. He's about how can I help, how can I fix? I'm 13 years lacking, but this comes about from his learning of Torah. And for sure, when we learn Torah properly, it should come out of us to be able to see how we can help. We've been given this ability, and he was so fortunate to be able to learn and get such a high level. But what does he really get? He gets that understanding that I learned this and I have this to be able to help and to give and to add into the world. Tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, we'll finish it up on the auspicious day of Lag Baimer, and we'll learn what does it mean. What do we take from this? Have a great day.